What is the most intimate, non-sex thing you do with your partner? Taking care of me when I was sick. We've been together for about a year and don't live together. I had to cancel plans because I had the stomach bug, diarrhea and throwing up, and he came over and took care of me. Any man that can witness his girl sitting on the toilet and head in a trash can and still wanted to cuddle you and love on you is a keeper. My partner died 10 months ago. Reading this warms my heart. We shared many of the same things you're all describing: cuddling, being sick together, being in the hospital, being able to say/do the weirdest things without repercussions, sharing our tears, grooming each other. I think one of my favorite things was that we had a whole little language no one else understood. Little mannerisms and abbreviations and gestures that were only funny or meaningful to us. We could also just tell what the other was thinking after 13 years of knowing each other. I could tell he was thirsty just by the way he looked around the room. We walked into a busy cafe once and he immediately knew I wanted to leave so we could find somewhere quieter. My partner was also an Afghanistan veteran. I feel privileged to have loved and supported him through that experience. It was a big part of his life. I cherish all that. These intimate things are the things your special relationships are made of. When he wraps himself around me tightly while cuddling/spooning, and calls it maximum security. If I'm feeling sad, he'll tease me and be like, "Oh, does someone need maximum security?" It's very sweet. Getting dressed for the day or undressed for bed together. Having deep meaningful conversations on the couch. He scrubs my back before I get in the shower. I shave his lower back for him after a health issue necessitated it. Literally sleeping together. That's not something I've done with another person for a very long time. Cuddling and eventually falling asleep in someone's arms is very intimate and requires quite a bit of vulnerability. This exactly. I used to get offended that my fiancé would be talking to me, cuddling and just randomly fall asleep on me, until I realized that he is just so completely relaxed in my arms at the end of a long day that he can finally fall asleep peacefully, and that makes me feel so close to him now. I think the most intimate thing happened during my second son's birth a few months ago. I had given birth quickly and easily, but then began hemorrhaging. They stood me up to go to the bathroom and blood began pooling down my legs and feet. Immediately back in bed, giving me shots and meds to try to stop it, but it wouldn't. The nurses were scared and a team ran in. My husband laid the baby down and held my hand. I was terrified I was dying and leaving them. I just kept looking into his eyes and telling him I was so scared, and he stayed calm and smiled and reassured me. I'm so lucky they found a piece of retained placenta and were able to give me a second epidural and manually remove it. But I ended up losing almost 800 milliliters of blood. I really thought those could be my last moments, and I just locked eyes with him, trying to communicate everything I needed him to know about our family and my sons, but too scared to say any of it out loud. It was the most intimate moment of my life. My boyfriend swims nearly every day and the chlorine dries the crap out of his skin, so I spend a few minutes every day lotioning his back and ass so they don't get ashy. This is mostly non-sexual, but sometimes I pretend I'm a dude and the lotion is my nut, with crazy humping and dirty talk. He doesn't like it when the turntables. He plays love songs on the piano while I stand behind him kissing the back of his head. I almost cry sometimes. He's autistic and doesn't do verbal affection, but he finds ways to show me that he loves me. My boyfriend draws and sometimes he draws me naked. Granted, it's a prelude to sex sometimes, but not all the time. It's super intimate, watching him quietly concentrate and do his work while sort of examining parts of me. I used to be super self-conscious, so just laying there and being out in the open is sort of freeing, and I don't know. Just feels close. I scratch his back and head. He was telling me how his mom would scratch his back and it is a very intimate thing for him. His grandma would scratch his head until he fell asleep. Ever since he told me that, I've been trying my best to stay awake long enough that he falls asleep from head scratches too, as he has trouble falling asleep. Last night I finally held out long enough. I could hear his breathing change and his body relax and felt him fall asleep under my hand, and I don't know why, but I was the happiest in the world because I could do something for him like that, someone I really care about. He told me I was amazing and I just melted. I hope to do it more often, smiley face. He likes to call me different nicknames, one of them being Peach. So, whenever he wants to cuddle, he says Peach time? And we cuddle and just lay there together. It's honestly one of my favorite things in the world. He goes to bed much later than I do, but he puts me to bed every night. I lay my head on his chest and play with his beard while he rubs my head. Then I will usually tell him, I need some skin, and I will untuck his shirt, and put my hand up inside under his shirt and rub his chest/play with his chest hair as he rubs my head, until I fall asleep. It is my favorite time of the day, by far. That's all for today's video. If you liked it, make sure to subscribe and let us know what you want to see next. Also, check us out on Twitter @thatwasfunny. Thanks for watching. Until next time.